child support was through the state of Alabama because that's where she was living. They didn't even notify me when the court proceedings were going on and she lost custody. That was a really blurred time for me. One weekend I got my kids on my scheduled weekend, and the next weekend I can't find them. I was working at Kia, a subcontractor called Mobis through a staffing agency. I was working my tail off. I was trying to, so that we could have our own spot. I had to have separate housing for the girl, and that was just kind of tough because with the boys, slap a bunk bed together, they're good to go. Girls, different. So I kind of felt like the hoops for me were much more antagonizing. Non-drug test pass, and you want 37, and it's just like, how many hoops do you want me to jump through before you can just give me what's already mine? There were 6 different living situations, and every one of them they got verbally and physically abused, except for one. The caseworker called me very much appalled, but because of what was going on with me legally, there was nothing that I could do. So Eugene stepped up and he took temporary custody of the boys from that period on. And he made sure that I always got my visitation, and he kept me in the loop. I got hit with a violation of probation. I had missed either a visit or a payment or something. It wasn't anything huge. But once I got out because of that, I ended up being transferred to Muskogee County. I'm being dressed for a trustee, and then suddenly I'm not. And then when I ask what I'm being charged with, I'm being told child cruelty in the first degree. And it wasn't until they were booking me that I knew anything that was going on. I was like being hit by a truck in the worst environment to show any emotion in. I got notified my second month in jail that my case for my kids had gotten dismissed with lack of evidence, and kind of dangled me like bait for the next 6 months. Stacey Jackson told me to plead down and I could go home immediately.
He was actually living with some family members of my ex-wife, and that's where we met. We lived in a camper, a 12x8 camper. He worked at Waffle House, and he was a DJ, so he did landscaping. A man worked probably 12 hours a day. His mother was for lack of better words, a monster. I don't want to cuss and say ugly things about her, but she was mean, downright hateful. She was abusive to Ricky, even as an adult. They were against Ricky having his kids. They sided with the mother, even though she was still using drugs and doing the things that they asked her not to do, which is why I kind of stepped in and was a barrier and was the go-between. When it was Ricky's weekend to get the kids, I went and picked them up instead of sending him, so that there was no fights that broke out and to keep peace. The rumors and the stories were all lies, and you could tell it. Without his kids, he was depressed. When his kids were there, he was the happiest person on the face of the earth. I'm gonna cry. Don't make me cry.
I got a shot at a second chance at something I didn't think that I would actually get. And that sounds so weird because I've been doing this for almost 21 years as a dad. But it wasn't until those 3 got into danger that we were on the same sheet of music because of what we were fighting for. But it was that moment in time in December, already moved, working, getting on my feet, coming down there, seeing the kids, sending stuff when we needed to, always contacting them, getting back to me.
That was absolutely one of the happiest days of my life. When he called me to tell me that he was getting the kids, I was overjoyed.
Once I had the space, it was time to go. I had no questions asked.
Ricky is the best thing for his kids. Since having his kids, I've seen them go back to see their mom, and they've witnessed things that no child should witness their parent do. There's been things said to them that no child should have their parents say to them. Those kids belong with their dad. I think more than anything, there needs to be a change in how the support systems look at men as far as custodian parents.